Good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Today we have a couple mods planned. Might give it away a little bit, but they're going on to the ZR1. Alright guys, so again, ACS sent me over some parts and we're going to go ahead and install them today on the ZR1, and they're really going to help make the car look even cooler. Just like everything I've done so far with all the ACS parts, the rear diffuser fins, the front XL rock guards, the side marker blacked out LED lights, all of it just gives the car a little bit more of an edge, and it really helps it look sportier than it already does, which I don't even know how that's possible, but it just enhances it that little extra bit. So anyway, here's the box. Like I said, all of ACS stuff comes pretty much in the same kind of box, and right up here is actually the diffuser fin box still. I haven't even had a chance to really clean any of this stuff up, and I get some more stuff from ACS. They also sent me the friggin' t-shirt that I'm wearing. How cool is that? Definitely a big thumbs up to ACS. I love their quality. Their parts for the cars are just amazing. Like I said, somehow takes this extremely sporty looking car and makes it even sportier looking. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the unboxing here. It's always the same kind of process with ACS stuff. It always comes in the same kind of box. You always get the courtesy cards and the instructions right on top here. And in here is what we're going to do today. So for those of you who don't know, the front XL rock guards on this car are a little bit wider than your normal rock guard, and it really helps keep all of the debris off the back end of this car. So this sticks out about 1.5 inches at its widest point down here, and it also sticks down under the side skirt about 1 inch. So anything that these tires kick up, this blocks for the most part. Now what we're doing is the same thing, only in the rear. ACS XL rock guards in the rear as well, whereas right now I just have the GM accessories one here, which is only about 3/4 inch at its widest. The XL rock guard in the rear will be about 1.5 inches at its widest point at the bottom here, plus it will be carbon flash painted, whereas this GM accessories one, as you can see, is kind of generic plastic colored, which is really the only reason I'm changing it, because honestly I don't really think too much damage happens back here with the rear tires kicking things up, but at the same time you can't have too much protection for these kind of cars, especially the ZR1. This car was expensive. I try to protect it the best I can. As you guys know, I had blackout tinting in Latrobe, Pennsylvania recently. Clear bra it and ceramic coat it just to make sure it is as protected as possible. So these ACS rock guards definitely help with it, and the only other thing you can really do is clear bra those areas. But honestly, that front XL rock guard knocks down probably 98% of the road debris. So if you can't do anything else to your car, I definitely recommend the XL rock guard in the front to protect it as much as possible if you're not able to clear bra. So that's the first thing we're doing today. The second thing is actually going to be the rear fascia extensions. So these actually go on the back bumper on the bottom, right underneath where the XL rock guards will go, and they kind of wrap around the back here just to give it a little bit more of a sporty look, a little lower look, and it kind of ties in the whole XL rock guard as well. So it's kind of hard to explain, but you guys are definitely going to see the process here, and I'm going to show you the before and after images as well. So pretty much like everything that we've installed from ACS so far, all you really need is a 7mm socket. Now, of course, like I said, I put it on my impact to make things a little bit easier for myself, but that is going to be the only tool you actually need to accomplish this install. So let's get into the actual unboxing here. This is one of the rear fascia extensions right here. And as you can see, just like with everything ACS, it is perfectly painted with carbon flash color matched paint. So when we go to put this on, this is going to install right down here. You can see it basically is just going to wrap around the car a little bit just to give it that extra little bit of flair. And it really helps, like I said, tie in the XL rock guard. It sticks out a little further than the stock one. Then we have the other rear fascia extension in here. Again, a perfectly painted piece. So this is the stuff you get from ACS. You get high quality, high craftsmanship pieces that really end up giving your C7 Corvette the edge as far as looks go. Now they do actually sell stuff for the C6 Corvette as well. I don't have a C6 Corvette, so I can't really show you any of those products, but they have an extensive list of things you can buy for a Corvette, period. So if you have a Corvette and you're looking to give it that little extra edge, check out ACS Composite. And then finally we have the rear XL rock guards. And you can see here they're actually labeled rear passenger. And I bet you $100 the other one in here says rear driver. Oh, there it is. I knew it. I knew it. All right, sorry, that was stupid, but let's go ahead and get these things installed. The install of the rear XL rock guards is not very difficult. We have about 5 clips in here and then one 7mm bolt that goes up underneath. The rear fascia extensions are a little more difficult, still pretty easy, but there's 3 7mm bolts under here we'll have to take off, and then there's gonna be 2 pop rivets we have to put in to hold that piece on. So the pop rivet thing is going to be a little more difficult. It's just not as easy as taking screws out and putting screws back in. I'm going to show you the process here. Like I said, I'm doing it anyway, so I figured I'd include it, but the pop rivet thing is definitely going to make it a little more challenging. We are going to use the 7mm socket and go ahead and take off the actual GM splash guard here. The 7mm bolt, 5 different clips that hold it in, we'll pop those off and then get on to the XL rock guard from ACS. Just like that. And here is the GM piece next to the ACS XL rock guard. Like I said, even for the front ones, it was basically the same kind of comparison. These ones just don't offer the same amount of protection. They don't look as quality just because, for the most part, because they're not painted carbon flash, but these are definitely going to offer a lot more protection. As you can see, if we put these over top of each other where they would clip in, you can see the difference in the actual amount of protection. So it is probably pretty close to an inch of protection further than what the GM piece offers here. Ultimately, these just match better. They go with the black look of the car a lot better. These with those rear fascia extension pieces are really going to finish off this rear end. I'm going to go ahead and install it now though, and I'll show you the process. Like I said, very easy, couple clips and a 7mm bolt. Now, before we get these installed, what you're going to want to do, whether you have the GM piece like I do or the actual stock piece, you'll pull this up and you'll want to take off this U-nut right here. So that U-nut will be transferred over to the new piece right there, and that will allow that 7mm bolt to hold in tight underneath. All right, so there we have it. Like I said, very easy install, and if you look at it from a distance especially, looks way better on there. Definitely fits the car a lot better than the rubberized plastic looking piece. This looks pretty good, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get this bottom extension piece put on, and then we are good to go on the driver's side. For the rear fascia extension pieces, it actually says you're to use 2 different rivets. So a 3/16" rivet using a rivet gun. Now I do have a rivet gun, but I am not gonna do this part. Instead, I'm gonna actually just use a piece of double-sided tape. Because as you can see right now, I actually have the XL rock guard and the rear fascia extension piece on there. Now, the only thing holding this on right now is the 3 bolts underneath. One of them goes into the rear XL rock guard and the other 2 hold in the bottom of the bumper. With those bolts in, it's perfectly in place, but it's a little flimsy in the front. If you can see, it's moving around a little bit. So I'm actually gonna put a piece of double-sided tape underneath here to hold it up tight against the bottom of the bumper. That way I don't have to do any kind of riveting, and I think the 3M tape that I have will hold that pretty well. The tape I use is the heavy duty stuff, and it always holds everything. It's actually what's holding that Corvette flag on up there. And that has been there for over a year at this point, holding on to concrete block that's actually the outside wall. It gets kind of cold too. So that stuff holds really well. I don't think there'll be any problem with it here. I like the idea of doing that over the rivets, so I'm gonna try that first, and of course I'll report back to you guys if that ends up not working, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem. So I got the rear fascia extension off, and I'm gonna actually put the piece of tape right in between these 2 holes. Now these 2 holes were where the pop rivet was supposed to go, so I'm just gonna put the piece of double-sided tape right in between there, just to kind of put the security right where ACS designed it to be. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bolt this back in, hold it there for a couple seconds, and that tape should bond enough that this thing is not gonna go anywhere. And there's the tape installed. So now we're gonna go ahead and put this thing on. Should be good to go after that. All right, so as you guys can see, it's not going anywhere now. It's on there nice and tight. That tape should hold it on there. Along with the 3 screws on the bottom, it's pretty good to go. So I don't think the rivets are necessary as long as you have a pretty strong holding double-sided tape like I do, but we'll find out. Like I said, if this ends up not working out and I have to go to the actual rivets anyway, I'll let you guys know. But for now, I think this is good. And of course, it is held on with 3 bolts underneath, so it's not like it's gonna go flying off. But the rivets were just to give it the little extra support it needs in the front, and I think I accomplished that with the double-sided tape. I'm going to go ahead and go over to the passenger side now, do the exact same thing over there, which I'm not going to bore you with because it's going to be the exact same process only on the passenger side. And the finished product, guys, check it out. So the ACS XL rear rock guard and the ACS rear fascia extensions. So what this ends up doing is just really giving the rear end an even more finished appearance with those XL rock guards. The fascia extensions really just tie it in and make it all look like one solid piece and give it that little extra sporty look from the back. It really looks fantastic. As always, I'm very pleased with the ACS quality. They really seem to know what they're doing with the C7 Corvette. So anyway, guys, like I said, the install for this stuff was not overly difficult, but just look at this stuff, guys. I mean, it really gives it a nice finished look, and it adds some protection. You can't go wrong with protection, and when it looks like this, it's a big thumbs up from me. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. So if you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions at all about the ACS stuff, any of these products that I have on my C7 car, shoot them in the comment section down below and let me know. I'll be more than glad to answer any of your questions regarding any of the ACS stuff. As always, I give ACS a big thumbs up, and I also want to thank them again for sponsoring this video, sending me out these free products to put on the black ZR1 and make it even more gorgeous. I mean, just look at this thing. But anyway, guys, if you have not subscribed yet, please do. I have loads of C7 content and C8 content coming that you're not going to want to miss. So definitely subscribe. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.